I'm the greatest fighter of all time. Destroy this man, and I'm going to keep the heavyweight championship of the world for 5 years straight. Then I'm going to retire from the boxing game. Healthy, happy, rich, and pretty. I'm the greatest fighter of all times.
Today we're showcasing Eddie Murphy.
Jesus Christ.
Rising to fame on SNL in the early 1980s,
Live from New York, it's the Eddie Murphy Show!
Murphy became a breakout star known for his iconic celebrity impressions of figures like James Brown
Look at that!
and Stevie Wonder.
You the motherfucker be doing Stevie Wonder? That ain't funny, motherfucker!
Sit back, relax, and let's take a look at some of our favorite Eddie Murphy impressions.
I know what I like, and I know you know what I like because you were trained to know what I like, but I would like to know what you like.
Up first, we have Murphy doing his highly praised Tracy Morgan's Ballpark Franks impression.
He said, I went over there, he made me Franks, Ballpark Franks.
Yeah, that's it.
That's why I'ma always be cool with Eddie, cause he made me them Franks.
Next up, we have an impression of an enraged Mr. T, poised to make Murphy pay for mocking him.
So I figured if he came up to me, I could use the Jedi mind trick on him. Mr. T walk up and go, I heard you did some jokes about me. No, you didn't. Maybe I didn't. I'm gonna go beat up the fool that told me them lies.
Here we have a trio of clips of Eddie impersonating Mike Tyson, including one where he does it right next to him.
Yo, man, why you get on the TV and say, you know, I punched you in the arm and then I hurt your arm and stuff, man? Why you gonna say that?
He had just leaned into my ear and he said, that guy hits like a mule.
You know, more Mike Tysonisms, like,
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sammy and I would like...
Next, former President Barack Obama tries to uncover Eddie Murphy's top secret hair care routine.
He talked about my hair. He was like, how come your hair? He said, what kind of rinse are you using? I said, what? You don't have any gray hairs. Because I'm about 2-3 months older than Obama.
Yes?
And he was like, that doesn't make me feel any better.
In this next clip, Eddie Murphy performs his Stevie Wonder impression alongside Joe Piscopo's Frank Sinatra.
Thanks a lot, Frank.
Let me ask you something. Do you do your own hair?
No, I don't. You know, Frank, I feel it is a tremendous honor to be recording with you.
Thank you, Stevie. I feel the same.
Next, Eddie channels his Richard Pryor impression that he first perfected as a young child.
You ever like sometime, right, you get on that toilet and when you that water splash up on your ass? Don't that make you mad, right? You know what really make me mad is when come halfway out your ass, then go back up in that motherfucker. Right? Why do be teasing your ass, right? Just get the out, right?
Here, Eddie Murphy channels his Elvis Presley, portraying an unwelcome house guest.
If Elvis was alive now, he said, man, you wouldn't even hang out with Elvis. I said, yes, I would. He said, man, Elvis would be in the lobby of your house like, say, man, is Eddie there? And I would be in the room. Hey, what's going on, man? He told me to come over. Oh, I know what's going on.
In the next two clips, Eddie Murphy impersonates Michael Jackson, first angrily confronting him for the jokes, then appearing shy and a bit antisocial at one of Sammy Davis Jr.'s parties.
Can I talk to you for a minute? Yeah, what's your motherfucking problem, man? Well, how come you keep fucking with me then, huh? What's all the motherfucking jokes? You don't like my clothes? What's your motherfucking problem? You know that Michael motherfucking Jackson, I will bust your ass? Get the fuck out, my motherfucker. I'll moonwalk all up and down your ass, motherfucker. You mind your motherfucking business.
There's too many people in the room. He was hiding behind the door. I said, Eddie, come on. And I went behind the door, and then we were standing behind the door, and I was like, what the Elvis? There's so many people in there.
Here's Murphy doing an impression of Sammy Davis Jr. talking about Satan.
You know, Satan is as powerful as God. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He says, why do you think there's so much anger in the world and killing and murder? And he saw my reaction to it, and he kind of lightened up on it.
In this next clip, Eddie takes a jab at Bill Cosby's scandals during his Mark Twain Prize for American Humor acceptance speech.
I would like to talk to some of the people who feel that I should give back my trophies just because you may have heard recently that I allegedly put the pill into people's chocolate.
Next, Eddie Murphy impersonates Johnny Cash, encouraging him to come to a party.
Johnny Cash said to me when they were talking about the party, he said, you coming to the party, Eddie?
I said, I don't know. He said, because June and I sure do love you.
Eddie Murphy teams up with Joe Piscopo to do their Jerry Lewis impressions right in front of Jerry Lewis himself.
You know what I was telling him?
You mean this, to have it, the nine? When I was young and used to watch Gilligan, on the side, the have it, don't.
When you were 9, you
But once, but it didn't count because it was, I didn't
just
know.
roll. But now you're gonna have roll.
Next, Eddie recalls a childhood story slipping into an impression of his late brother, Charlie Murphy.
Where did you and your brother go when your mother was hospitalized?
We went to Miss Jenkins' house. Miss Jenkins. Miss Jenkins, my brother said, if I was walking down the street and I see Miss Jenkins right now, I'd punch her in the face.
And of course, we can't forget Murphy's iconic James Brown impression.
I think, look at him. I'm a man, spell man, M-A-N. Papa's got a brand new bag. I got to.
Here, Eddie Murphy shares a story about how he and Arnold Schwarzenegger discussed making a sequel to Twins, with Eddie joining as the long-lost third triplet.
You're going to be the other triplet, you'll be the other one, you'll be Danny and I, and these triplets, and he's little and you're black, and it's all different, and we're the triplets. And I was like, but wait a second now, you guys are a little older than me. How I know it's black and little, but how is it good? He said, we'll figure it out. And I guess we never figured it out because the movie never happened.
In this short clip, Eddie Murphy responds to Kevin Hart breaking his 2-day box office record.
Yeah, I broke Eddie's record. I don't know what records nobody broke, Kevin. I ain't even been on stage in 27 years.
Next, Eddie Murphy does his impression of a young Cassius Clay.
Getting in with me, Cassius Clay, the man's disgraced to boxing. He's too old to be fighting me. Cassius, you know something, how old he is? 32 years old. 32, the man's ready for a rocket chair. I guarantee the world. I'm gonna shock the world, prove the world. I'm the greatest fighter of all time. Destroy this man, and I'm gonna keep the heavyweight championship of the world for 5 years straight. Then I'm gonna retire from the boxing game. Healthy, happy, rich, and pretty. I'm the greatest fighter of all times.
In this clip, we fast forward to his impression of Muhammad Ali later in life.
I like his show, I admire his style, but your pay's so cheap, I won't be back for a while.
Muhammad, how do you feel after last night's fight?
In this next clip, Eddie Murphy tells a story about Rodney Dangerfield being completely wrong about him.
Mr. Dangerfield, after the show, will you watch my set? And he was like, yeah, sure, kid. So afterwards, Dangerfield sees me and he's like, hey, kid, I don't know where you're going to go with that, you know, with the language and the race stuff. Cut to 2-3 years later, gotten really successful. And I was at Vegas in the bathroom, you know, and Rodney Dangerfield comes to the urinal right next to me. And I look over and he looks at me and says, hey, who knew?
Here's a quick clip of Eddie's impressions of Desi Arnaz's infectious laugh. Did we miss your favorite impression? Let us know and we'll see you in the next one.